Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. And today I'm going to try to finish off the Species films, which I'm doing it for Tony, who of course sent me such a huge package, and these were some of the films he asked me about. And yeah, I really enjoyed the first Species. I reviewed that. Now I get to the sequels, which to be honest, I don't think these reviews are going to be that long, because these movies ain't worth it. They weren't a fucking piss to leave in a bucket, let alone fucking talking about them. But I got to. Now, first off, I'll get to the least offensive of the sequels, I guess, and that is Species 2. The sexiest alien in the universe is back, that's pretty misleading because Natasha Henstridge is back, but all she does is sit her ass in the fucking lab for most of the fucking film. And then jumps through a window, runs, gets shot, bare ass naked, and then mates, and the alien has her choke on his dick. That's what it looks like to me. The alien stuck his dick and sealed the alien's mouth and had her choke on it. There's no meaning to the words choke on my dick. Maybe it's not meant to be the male alien's dick going to the female alien seal, but that's what it looks like. And she chokes to death, so whenever you think of choke on my dick, think of Species 2, because I think that's what we saw. Or I think that's what I saw. Maybe I was so bored I decided to put 2 and 3 together and still call it 4. But Species 2 has some stuff I don't mind. It was cool to see Michael Madsen come back from the first film, Marg Helgenberger come back from the first film, Natasha Henstridge come back from the first film, H.R. Dieter worked on stuff, Steve Johnson's effects worked on this. Nice to see some people in there like Peter Boyle, Michael T. Williamson, who was Bubblegum in Forrest Gump. He was also in The First Power, among many other films. This film is definitely R-rated. It definitely has nudity, some really good creature effects, and some pretty crazy gore. I will say, some really good effects. Yeah, I mean, but I speak highly of practical effects, but because a film has good practical effects doesn't mean it is a good movie. Just at least it's something, good practical effects. So total piece of shit, no. But again, I think the ones after this are more pieces of shit than this. And so there's certain parts that it was a time waster. Oh wow, that's a cool gory moment. Oh, that's a nice pair of titties. And it's not that long of a film, 90 minutes. I think this is actually the shortest of the Species films. But this, first off, a sequel was not needed. And I remember, actually, this has a booklet which mentions how one script was, quote, Species on steroids, a bigger, pumped-up version of the other film. But they went with the other script because of Frank Mancuso, who's a fucking idiot. And I think that's one of the problems is the script. That is one of the problems. Who gives a shit about script? I like the script of the first movie. This film, the script sucks ass. Or it can choke on my dick, just like the fucking female alien in this movie. It's one of those things that I guess I should talk about the plot before I get into it so you know where I'm coming from. Mission to Mars. 3 astronauts. You have some fucking guy played by Justin Lazard, loser, fuckface, fucker, I don't know, because he fucking sucked. It's Species 1, but it's a male alien. And pretty much, she is stuck in the lab and just doing what Forrest Whitaker did. Because Forrest Whitaker in the first film, he felt things. He was pretty much psychic. All they do is they use her like 1 or 2 scenes. Hey, go over here. On the site distance, we're trying to get Forrest Whitaker back. Wow, I got 2 in 1 shot. We have Forrest Whitaker tiny character, and we have Natasha Henstridge back. That's pretty much what it is. The 3 astronauts is him, a woman, and Michael T. Williamson. And I like Michael T. Williamson. I liked him in Bubba Gump and Forrest Gump. I liked him as Lou Diamond Phillips' partner in The First Power. I thought he did alright in this film. They're there to get some samples. You have some black goo from the X-Files infect them. Which is funny because there's a guy who actually mentions, this is the fucking X-Files. God damn it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because X-Files, the movie, came out in the same year, 1998, and it's a better movie. And you stole their black goo from them. You stole the black goo from X-Files, which was also an X-Files movie because it was on the TV show. And Prometheus stole that shit as well. Which I'll say, that's a much shittier movie than this. At least this is a trashy B movie. It's got the blood, guts, and tits. And it's not fucking pretentious like that piece of shit. That's just my opinion, though. If you disagree, that's fine. Well, okay, though. That's the setup. Okay. But you bring back Natasha Henstridge. Duplicate of Eve, named... duplicate of Syl, named Eve. That's one problem. Not only because the sequel really was unnecessary. It was a movie that didn't need a sequel. Okay, I like Natasha Henstridge, I really do, but you give her nothing to do. At the end, she just sits in a fucking lab, and actually, Marg Helgenberger from the first film is actually tending to her, which you would think she would grow some common sense after the first movie, but then she has some bullshit explanation. I'm not going to go into it because I think even Michael Madsen said it's bullshit. I agree. And she works with this over-the-top fucking colonel with one eye. Do you work for Snake from Metal Gear Solid? This seems like a character to be in one of those games. And you would think if the plot was worth the shit, that okay, she's actually watching TV Eve and going, oh, these are places I'll never get to go. Here's an idea. Okay, you don't have another chase movie. Let's have Natasha Henstridge team up with the team. I mean, Marg Helgenberger even mentioned something about, oh, she has this toxin in the back. If she gets loose, we'll just kill her. Or it'll explode or something like that. If she decides to try to escape. Why don't you have that so you can carry it on the run? Or put a fucking collar on her and they'll blow her fucking head up. Or put some fucking disease in her, since you find on this film these aliens don't like disease from people. But hey, what do I know? No, instead she's gonna sit on her ass in a lab doing nothing. Yeah, it's fucking smart. And this is directed by the guy who did The Changeling by George C. Scott. George C. Scott was great in that movie. The Changeling, one of my favorite ghost stories. One of my favorite movies about ghosts. Love The Changeling. Of course, that was what, probably 18 years ago by the time this film came out? Peter Medak? I mean, you go from The Changeling to something like Species II. I mean, James Cromwell, which we see in a lot of film, plays the Justin Lazard, Fucktard, his dad. Justin Fucktard sucked. Oh, you say names? Yeah, because I thought he sucked. He did not have presence, charisma, and also it's more fun to follow a sexy female woman who's an alien than a fucking guy. It's not really that interesting. It makes me think of The Astronaut's Wife, which I hated that fucking movie too. That's what this movie is. It's the fucking astronaut's wife. At points. That's what it made me feel like. Because that was an astronaut that came back infected with an alien. Was an alien. I mean, I didn't like that movie either. With fucking Johnny Depp. And there are some good gore. When this fucking guy has sex with these two sisters, a belly opens up and this baby comes out. Practical effect. And this guy starts having a brood of kids. But really, that doesn't amount to anything, because all they do is just get turned to cocoons, where the team just goes in and you can't even have them with flamethrowers. It's just this. It's like a gun that freezes. But I guess you find out that Michael T. Williamson, he's not infected. He didn't get infected because he has some type of disease or some type of thing that pretty much makes him immune, makes him a danger, and uses like his blood to this machine, to this type of gun, but it's blowing like air, so I guess it's like, I don't know how the fuck that gun works. But I'm like, you can't even have fun with like flamethrower. No, it's gotta be these guns that look like farts coming out. White fart powder. How that was done better in fucking Predator 2, with Gary Busey and his team having those freezing things on the Predator. In a better movie. And the shit didn't work. That's why Danny Glover had to kick his ass. Better movie, better story, better plot. But then you get some good gore. I mean, if you watch it just for tits and gore, you don't get a good share. It's like the director, okay, I gotta put some tits and gore because the story sucks. I mean, some blood in a lab that he's testing on Justin Lazard, fucktard. I'll just say fucktard. Just because I hate trying to, Lazard. I'm tired of trying to pronounce the fucking guy's name. So I'll say fucktard because it's easy to remember. So he's doing the fucktard's blood. And, oh, the blood comes alive. And it rips, ultimately the doctor's guts get ripped out. Okay, cool practical gore. Later on, the astronaut tries to blow his head up, and he blows his head up, and it reforms. But gore can't save a movie. If that was the case, I would love the Evil Dead remake, because the only thing I liked in that was the gore. It had good gore. It just, for me personally, I had found nothing else to like in the Evil Dead remake. I don't see good, fun gore in the other Evil Dead films. Or even that Ash vs. Evil Dead coming out, the trailer alone. But its story is pretty much playing the same plot of the first film. So there's a big sense of deja vu. Oh, instead of a female, and Natasha Henstridge, who is better, had more presence, has more... You just felt her presence more. I don't know how to describe presence. People just have it. This guy did not have it. And then second off, wasting its characters. Natasha Henstridge should have joined them on the hunt. Could have been like The Fugitive. Or, you know, it could have been Natasha Henstridge joining Michael Madsen. Michael Madsen doesn't even come in until like 28 minutes in the film. That's a third of the film. This film is only 90 minutes long. That's with the end credits. Take out the end credits, 88, 87 minutes. So a third of the film is over, and then you get Michael Madsen, who is top billed in the movie. And Michael Madsen's really given nothing to do, and Michael Madsen thinks this is a piece of shit too, and he likes the first Species, but he called this a crock of shit, and I don't blame him. Dude, Michael Madsen comes in like 30 minutes in, and pretty much he just finds out what's going on, that they made this duplicate called Eve, there's an alien running around, they go see Peter Boyle, he's just there to give exposition of, I warned them not to go to Mars, they didn't listen. Michael Madsen, they don't give him that many great one-liners as they did in the first film, and doesn't feel like he has much to do. And yet the first film, you can forgive it, where it's just, they get there, they're too late. They get there, they're too late. But when you're doing it again for the second time, it's just like, come on now. I wonder what the other steroided, bigger, pumped-up version was like. I want to see what that film was like, since they said no to that. Great job, Frank Mancuso. I do like, there's once in a while a nice line, now that I think about Michael Madsen. Like he says, oh, they could fuck the human race into extinction. Or, but not as, that's not as cool as the lines he was given in the first movie. He was given more to do, more of a character. You felt like there was a little budding romance between Michael Madsen and Marg Helgenberger. That's completely gone in this movie. They give really nothing to Michael Madsen to do or play with. And I hate to say it was better directed. The director did a poor job. This really felt like there was an energy to the camera work and there's not really much of that. It's just, oh, here's some fun gore, here's a few tits, here's some good effects. The female astronaut, her belly opens up, and this thing comes out as if it's a flying face hugger and grabs the guy, suck face, and lifts him up, and then Michael Madsen comes in to shoot the tentacle, and again, instead of flamethrowers, we just have, I'm sorry, having this air, I don't know if it's to freeze them. Doesn't really seem like it freezes them. I guess it does. But it's like, that's just not as cool as a flamethrower. I'm sorry. Call it a primal thing, but having blowing hot air, white hot air, is not as cool as a fucking flamethrower. And sorry if I sound weird, it's because anytime I do these videos, my fucking antivirus pops up. So if I sound like Zor does, it's because the fucking antivirus always pops up. It's always a pain in the ass to shut it off, so I just keep it on and it'll work itself out. But again, I mean, the female astronaut dies. They have an autopsy. This bloody thing pops out of the inside of her mouth, and one of the doctors cuts it. Again, there's some good, fun creature effects, gore, nudity, because the male alien fucks a lot of women. You can see some titties. But, that's not enough. I mean, that's more than these fucking movies have, and at least there's Michael Madsen, Natasha Henstridge, Marg Helgenberger for continuity's sake. But I mean, just even the score isn't that good. I mean, Christopher Young did the score in the first film. I don't know who. Edward Schumer did a very forgettable musical score. The direction is not that energetic. The plot isn't that interesting. Again, just having Natasha Henstridge stuck in a fucking lab doing nothing. Michael T. Williamson joins, and gets her on a table to see through, I think the character's name is Patrick. Patrick's eyes. Michael T. Williamson and Michael Madsen, they get the wrong van, and then the Patrick guy gives himself up because he's able to see that where Eve's at too. It's the door swinging both ways. There's an attack. He escapes, and like a minute after getting there, James Cromwell, who's his dad, confronts him, kills James Cromwell by busting through his gut and coming a tentacle out of his mouth. Or his neck, I think, actually, his neck. Eve escapes. Michael Madsen, Marg Helgenberger, and Michael T. Williamson chase after him. They kill the cocoons in a very lame fashion, pretty ho-hum. They just get there, this hot fucking air, which I guess is mixed with maybe Michael T. Williamson's DNA, or maybe it's just that stuff just worked. I didn't fully understand that well. Maybe I explained it, I just didn't give a fuck. And all that happens is like a little tentacle tries to choke Michael T. Williamson out, and Marg Helgenberger take care of it. They go up, Eve and Patrick are having sex, throws Michael Madsen, throws Michael T. Williamson. Good creature effects on the male creature and the Eve, the alien creatures. Good practical effects by Steve Johnson's group, I'll give you that. And Marge says, "Oh, help us, Eve. I know you're still part human." Because that's the whole deal with they made a duplicate. She juts these spikes out, and I swear, the fucking alien has this thing. I'm sure it's a tentacle, but it looks like his dick. He put his fucking Hun dick inside Eve's mouth. I think I said Syl, but it meant Eve, this character. Enter her mouth to choke her to death. And all Michael Madsen does is not even as cool as the first movie, where he gets fucking little rocket and is gone and says, "Let her go, motherfucker." No, he just takes a pitchfork, stabs into Michael T. Williamson's leg because he has the the blood. And it's weird, like Michael T. Williamson has a machete, but I don't remember him ever using the fucking machete for anything. Like, what was the point of that? And just Michael Madsen just shoves it on into the back of the male alien, and then it dies. And then people say their goodbyes. Natasha Henstridge is in an ambulance, and there's one little kid that I guess wasn't a cocoon, and Natasha Henstridge gives birth because she was fucking Justin fucktard. And then the movie's over. Again, maybe if you had Natasha Henstridge actually with Michael Madsen and with Marg Helgenberger, and you have Michael T. Williamson in there as well, and there's a certain sense of distrust, but there's also a sense of, a good alien with this team facing this bad alien. And you have maybe some fun chases where she's outrunning the team and going here, going there, or busting through walls, or going through here and there, and close calls. Says where he's going to be, and maybe fighting the alien. Natasha Henstridge, who's now a girl. Hell, this could be like T2, if you want to go that route. It could be like fucking T2 of Species. S2. They didn't even go that route. I mean, just a very uneventful, lame story that's pretty much the copy of the first film with a lame ending. I mean, even the location, it's not even as cool as the sewers, tunnels. It's a fucking barn. A fucking barn. What's this? Fucking children of the corn will come in. These fucking little kids gonna turn to children of the corn. There's a fucking pitchfork, so get close. So yeah, Species 2, if you want some good gore and some titties and some good creature effects by Steve Johnson. But I thought Michael Madsen was wasted. He had nothing to do. Natasha Henstridge was definitely wasted. And not even drunk wasted. The good wasted. Just completely made useless. Next time I watch this, I'll fast forward to the gore and creature effects, which will take me like 5 minutes. That's including popping the DVD in and getting it to start to the menu and then starting the movie, letting it load up. I'll watch that. I watch Species and I'll watch like the 5 minutes of titties, gore, effects. I mean, you have the guy who directed The Changeling, which I enjoy. You have a lot of the cast back. Natasha Henstridge and Michael Madsen. You have, gore. It's definitely R-rated. You got tits. You got Steve Johnson coming up with effects. H.R. Giger. And you failed. And that, you could say it's a disappointing sequel considering all the people who came back for a pretty damn lame sequel. But no matter how much I bitched about it, it's still way better than these useless pieces of shit, which I had wasted my fucking time watching. And I'll never get that time back. I said this would be shorter, and it's not. But believe me, the others will be shorter, because they're nothing but jack shit.